All right. Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. What's up, Stu? That's my friend. Oh, my goodness. Stu, tell me something. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am A-okay. I'm hanging. I'm doing great. I'm hanging out. It's really fun. Welcome to Cultivate Coaching. Come on in. Super excited about all things that we're doing. Obviously, getting everything together. We're going to let some people jump in. So doing all that. If you haven't met me yet, my name is Mitch, and I am the administrator here at Be the One over our Activate clubs, over creatives. I've got some experience with some students, but also the professional side of ministry. So super fun. I love getting to connect with people who also invest in the next generation and give of themselves and their time to students. And so I think it's awesome just to be able to have people jump in. And here's the thing. We've got some people who are jumping in, coming on, getting everybody in here. It's awesome just to see people coming in, taking time to learn about ministry. If you don't get anything else from tonight, man, come on, get a friend. Ministry can sometimes be lonely. Sometimes it can feel like, man, I just want to have a conversation with somebody who is an adult, who isn't going through a breakup. Come on, I want to talk to somebody who's going through buying a house. I want to talk to somebody who's got a mortgage. Come on, I want to talk to somebody who knows something. And so we want to build an authentic, life-giving relationships with one another. Come on, we're not in competition with anybody. This is the Big C Church representing. And so we're not here to compare. We're here to build community. So let's see. We got people jumping on here. Let's see. What's up, Justin? Stu, I saw that you guys had a prayer night the other night. How'd that go?
Oh, it went really well, Mitch. Went really well. We had 31 students there. We had some stuff let go, some breakthrough. It was really good, really good.
Come on, man. That's what it's about. That's what we're doing. Well, cool. Well, I'm going to pray real fast, and then we will throw it over to Devin. Dear God, I just thank you for this night. God, I thank you for all the things that you are going to do through Cultivate Coaching. God, we thank you for the opportunity to just hear from our leaders. God, hear from Pastor Stephen. God, we are excited and expectant on what you are going to do. And it is through you that we just have the ability to speak into students. God, we love you and we thank you. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen.
Well, come on. Like Mitch said, my name is Devin. If you haven't met me, I get to serve on the Be the One team over student development. And so really I love getting to see students grow. And then also here at our local church called The House, I'm the youth pastor. And so, man, I just love youth ministry. I believe that we're in the greatest time ever to be in youth ministry. I 100% believe that. And if you are new to Be the One, I want to let you know that our founder and president, Stephen Sexton, along with his wife, Katie, they started Be the One back in 2012 with a heart to awaken a generation of difference makers. And so that's what we're all about. Before we get started, though, let me ask you guys a question. Do you have more to do in the day then you have time to get it done? Come on, just raise your hand real quick. Let me see if you have more to do in the day than you have to get it done. Come on, I believe that everybody would say that, no matter if you have a youth group of 2 people or 200 people, come on, you got more to get done than you have time to do. And the way that we're going to get everything that we have to get done is not actually by God specially anointing you with extra hours in the day. Come on, I jokingly told my wife this morning before I left the house, I was like, if your boy could just get 27 hours a day from God, I think I could get everything done. But the way that we're going to get it done is we are going to multiply ourselves and build leaders. But if you're like me, you didn't necessarily get into youth ministry because you are excited about building leaders or because that's your strong suit. Come on, I got into youth ministry because I love young people, because I love God, and I felt called. And even like some people, they're in youth ministry because at their church, they're like the only person under the age of 50 and above the age of 17. And so their pastor was just like, yo, you in charge of the youth. And so because of that, sometimes we can know that we need leaders, but it can be hard to have the time and the resources to build them. And so that's what Be the One really wants to help youth pastors and youth leaders do. And so there's a few different ways we do that. If you have a ton of middle schoolers and high schoolers, we want to see them build their leadership by doing Activate clubs. Activate clubs give middle schoolers and high schoolers the opportunity to be active in their faith. We don't think you have to go to another country, even though that's awesome. We don't think you have to do that to be a missionary. We believe that God can empower young people to be missionaries to their schools. And so they're going to put the link to more info about that. I'm just going to kind of touch on a couple of things, but you guys click that link, check that out. That's something you want to get your young people involved in. And then if you have a ton of young adults, maybe they're on your leadership team, or maybe you oversee students and young adult ministry at your church, I would tell you, if you want to accelerate their leadership, that either the internship or the Belize trip during the summer is what you want them to be a part of. And here's why. They're going to get immersed into like ministry culture, like not just showing up to your event and being like, who's putting this together, but they're going to be immersed into actually becoming the people who are, come on, putting the game together, thinking through worship, sharing their story. And so both of those opportunities are great for young adults. And then I would just say, you know, we have a ton that we could talk about, a lot that Be the One is doing. We're super active all throughout the year, but to keep up with all that, I would encourage you to follow us on social media, see what all God is doing. They're going to put the links to everything in the chat. And if something like piques your interest or you want more information about it, I would encourage you to go there and look at it and hit us up and let us know. But Mitch is going to take it from here.
Absolutely. Come on. Tonight is going to be awesome. I love that we get to come together just as youth pastors and leaders and learning how to be professionals in our area. If you didn't catch it, my name is Mitch, and I want to say personally, thank you for investing in the next generation. Our hope is that these calls will take you, come on, further, faster in your ministry. And we don't want to walk through ministry learning everything the hard way. Use the chat tonight. We've been talking about different ways because I want to know what is one of the funniest hard lessons that you had to learn in ministry. We learn stuff the hard way all the time. I know that for me, I had to learn that sending out the schedule on Planning Center is only step one. You also have to text the student. You also have to make sure that the students know where to be. You've got to know what the students do. So just because they said yes, doesn't mean that mom said yes. Come on, doesn't mean that dad knows what's going on. I mean, there is another level that just because you said Planning Center doesn't mean that that yes is a yes. So I had to learn the hard way when I had 3 of my 12 people show up. And so I'm telling you, it is crazy. I already see some stuff popping into the chat box. And I want you to know, we're going to use that thing tonight. We want to see you be present in there. We get the yes, that's goods, the preach sirs. I mean, we want to see you guys using that chat box because we're also going to be giving away some merch tonight. And so we're going to be picking people who are in that chat box. So you really want to be commenting. So let's look at some of these. We got crazy stuff. What do we have? Don't play dodgeball in a room not meant for dodgeball. Come on, there's a hole in the wall. It happens. I know. I've seen it. I've been there. I was like, all right, I guess I'm learning about spackle today. If I am making, oh yes, 7 pots of multicolored macaroni. All right. Okay, that's it. Watch the whole movie before you played at youth group. Come on. It's gotten to the best of us. That one scene and you're like, I'm gonna get called. Like it's crazy. So come on. I do want to go ahead and let you know about an opportunity that we have coming up for us. We have the relaunch of our Be the One conferences. We are so excited to be able to bring these back. Our conference is going to be July 28th through the 30th. And this is going to be an event that we're holding in Rogers, Arkansas. And you want to get your youth students here. If you want some more information about the event, go ahead and head over to our website, betheoneministries.com/conference for more information. They've got putting that in the chat box right now. And then we'll also talk about it just a little bit later.
All right, so let me talk to my favorite group of people right here. My people who don't really follow all the rules. Come on, you snuck into this Zoom call somehow, but you didn't sign up. If that is you, I'm gonna go ahead and encourage you to fill out this form that we're dropping in the chat. That just helps us really connect with you and really like connect with our Cultivate community. As we are doing this, we're not just interested in giving you content. We want to build life-giving relationships. Also, if you don't have your mic muted, go ahead and mute that for me. And if you have your camera off, one of our values at Be the One is actually seeing people. So we want to see your face. We want to see you engaged. On a serious note, though, as a student leader, I know it's not always easy to make the time or to have the resources to get coaching for youth ministry. And that's why I'm super excited about this content that's about to come up with our pastor and founder, Stephen Sexton. He was a youth pastor for a long time, and he has really done the work and really has the experience of doing youth ministry. And his heart is really to help you go further, faster, like Mitch said. And so you guys, let's listen up and tune into this content.
Cultivate Coaching. We are so glad that you have taken the time to join us today. We want to give you some practical tips on how to elevate your impact. The heart of Cultivate Coaching is that you would go further, faster. And so we know your time is valuable, so we want to jump right into it. My name is Stephen Sexton. I'm the president and founder of Be the One Ministries. We founded our ministry in 2012. So that means, come on, this year, we are celebrating 10 years of awakening a generation, come on, to believe that they can partner with God to be the one. And so we're so excited that you are joining us. You are an answer to the prayer that we've been praying for so long, that there would be people who really care and want to invest in this next generation. We believe that God has an incredible plan for you. And if you are on this Zoom, you are communicating that you want to get better at leading. Can I just tell you that leaders are learners? So let's jump right into it as we begin. One of the major hurdles for activating your influence is learning how to master communication. Come on, do we have any good communicators? Okay, do we have any people who think they're good communicators? There are 4 lanes of communication. There is the casual lane, which that's every day, it's not heavy. There is the intentional lane, which is solving problems, handling details, gathering information. Then there is the emotional lane, care, concern, compassion. And then there's the spiritual lane, caring about diving deeper so that we can have a better relationship with God. Every student pastor needs to be able to communicate in each of these lanes. So let's talk about it. You can't connect without communication. If we really want to connect with young people, we have to be willing to do the work of communicating. And let's face it, everybody loves communicating through social media, if you call it communicating. We settle for a connection to just information. Everybody posts, but posting isn't really communicating. As a leader, our goal is to be able to paint the picture of where we are taking the people that we lead. And to do that, you have to communicate. To do that well, you'll have to work hard to say it clearly, say it slowly. In fact, in an article recently in Psychology Today wrote that 55% of communication is body language. Come on, listen. 38% is tone. 7% are the actual words you say. So let's talk about it. If I get on here and I communicate, and I give you the crazy eyes, I'm communicating something. Your posture, your tone, the words you say are all working together to give information, come on, to your listener. We also must realize that real communication is both sent and received. Have you ever played catch with someone? You throw the ball, they catch the ball, they throw the ball, you catch the ball. There's a rhythm to that. Well, we believe in communication. There is a rhythm to good communication. You don't ever take your ball, throw it at someone, and it just hits them and falls off. Actually, to play catch, you throw the ball and someone's got to receive it. Then they give it back to you. Have you ever played catch with someone who wants to just like beam the ball to you, or they don't catch the ball and when they throw it, it's like so far out. It's like after 3 times, you're like, look, I don't want to play anymore. That's how it is with communication. If you're hard, or if you're all over the place, or come on, student leaders, the first time everybody hears the game is the first time you've actually communicated the game to the kids, to the students out loud. Like everybody's confused. Good communicators practice what they're trying to say. And listen, they edit what they're trying to say. To master communication is really getting the ball into the receiver's hands and then getting it back to you. No one wants to play catch all by themselves. As a leader, there is a rhythm to communication. Throwing a ball is about mechanics. It's about what your body is doing, what you're focusing on, the follow through. No leader wants to chase down lost balls of communication. So let me give you 4 high level approaches to communication that I think are going to help you today. And then you guys can spend some time talking about it. Actually, we'll probably do 2 of these on communication because we have so much to say about it. Every leader will talk, but not every leader will communicate. We don't just want to send the message, but we want it to be received. 4 high level approaches to communication is, how are we going to say it? How are we going to say it? And let me just tell you, here are the 4. You got to say it with care. You got to say it with praise. You got to say it with truth. And you have to say it with faith. Let's talk about these. Say it with care. Listen, one of the biggest reasons we communicate is to let people know that we care. Like, we hear you, we care, we're present, we're in this moment. We care about who we're talking to, what we're talking about. We care about the goal. We care about where young people are going. We care about our sermons. We care about the mission. We care about them showing up at the right time. We care about them bringing their friends. Like, we care. So don't ever communicate that you don't care. Don't say, oh, I don't care how you feel because blah, blah, blah. I don't care what you do, we're going to do. No. You care. That's why you're spending so much time talking. When you communicate care, your leaders and your students are going to buy into what you have to say. Proverbs 15:1 says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. It's easy to say, I don't care. And sometimes We don't even know when we're communicating it. For example, if you're in a conversation, but and you're on the phone and you say, I don't care what they said, blah, 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 blah. Then you have to remember they're remembering what you're saying, even if they don't totally listen to it. If you don't get back with people who you're communicating with, you're communicating, you don't care. Like, why do you have an email? Come on. If you don't want to communicate, why do you have a phone? Why are you the student pastor, student leader, student director, but nobody can get you? And so if there was an issue with a student, if someone got cancer, if someone died, if someone had a major, like they can't get a hold of you. Communication is a huge part of ministry. And you gotta resolve yourself now. You are in the job of being interrupted. You will be interrupted probably more than you know. Remember when the kids came up to Jesus and the disciples were like, look, don't interrupt him. He is busy. And Jesus said, do not deny them access to me. Let them come. You're going to have to, listen, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to prep. You're going to have to pray. You're going to have to lesson plan. You're going to have to plan the events. So yes, you cannot live totally at the whim of everyone's need, but you also have to be spirit led at moments when people get you. Come on, your team has to be able to get you. Your leaders have to be pastored and they have to care. And so that means you listen and that means you communicate. The most health that they'll be in is when they're close to you because you're the visionary. Like you're running the ministry. So you're the one that's going to have the fresh passion. Who wants to listen to someone who is acting or communicating or in tone, presenting this idea that I don't care? People are going to open up to you if they know that you care. They'll go the extra mile for you when they know you care. You need people who are following you to act, to respond, to lead, to follow through, to meet deadlines. As a leader, always make sure people that are leading at a high level for you, that you are communicating that you care. Here's the next one. Say it with praise. As leaders, it's our responsibility to be singing the praise of our team. Sure, there's moments we have to coach. There's moments we have to have courageous conversations, and we will have to solve problems. And sometimes that isn't fun. But if our focus is only problems and people who aren't doing what we want them to do, then negativity starts to seep through your team. And negativity is the devil's language. Like I'm just telling you, it breeds so fast and it destroys so much. Psalms 100 verse 4 says, enter his gates with thanksgiving and his court with praise. In other words, you ain't coming with bitterness and grumpiness and callousness. You gonna come into the court of God. Come on, with some praise. Give him some praise. Bless his name. Thank him. As leaders, we have to fight not going nuclear or negative all the time. Well, why don't the worship band practice? Why didn't the announcement person? Who was following up? Where are the young people? Why aren't they coming? Listen, I'm going to have to praise some people for being there, being present. Of course, your team is going to aggravate you at times. Of course, processes get messed up, performance levels go down. But that's why you're needed. Listen, if everyone could do it without you, you wouldn't be needed. You're the one that has to make sure the problems don't create a negative culture. You be a life-giving leader. You make sure you have the tempo of praise in your team. Who's doing well on the team? Who do you see giving extra effort? Who is growing? Who is showing up and serving more than one time a month? Criticism will always hurt longevity. Okay? Praise must be practiced. It's not automatic. We will all see the lack before we see the good. It takes discipline to praise and encourage your team. As a leader, either you will be their number one critic or you will be their number one praiser. What do you want to be remembered for? Here's the third one. Come on. Say it with truth. Come on, everybody say truth. Leaders at times will have to step into courageous conversations, and you're going to have to speak the truth. In other words, that song wasn't that great. There was some people who were flat. You know what? We said we were going to show up at this time and we didn't. There was no follow through. And it is important that you share the truth. We don't have to be brutal. We don't have to be so brutally honest that we hurt people and we produce wounds in people. We speak the truth in love. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 25 says, therefore, each of you, come on, put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. Listen, don't have people in your leadership for a long time and they don't know they got to grow. They don't know the truth. There will be times when you will have to tell someone on your team that there will have to be changes made. You will be communicating truth to those that listen to you. We believe each leader that speaks truthfully is not about criticism. It's because you truly see another next step for the people that are leading with you. Like you truly believe that if they will overcome this, like you're not doing it to them. Come on, you're doing it for them. You're showing them an area that needs to be adjusted, not because you can't wait to fix them, but because you want to unleash them. When you have a truth moment, now don't ever do it publicly. If you can avoid that at all costs. Don't overly correct in public unless it's like your ELT, your executive leadership team, and you're all together and you've all been through the trenches. But honestly, some of that is best one-on-one private conversations. Don't ever handle a truth conversation over email or text. Don't fight over text. Don't correct someone over text. Handle quick details over text. Anything other than that needs to be a phone conversation. Do drop bys and drop offs and hey, how you doing? Quick, whatever. Those are great. Those are helpful to be on text. But if you're going to have to say something and it could be misconstrued about an event that's changing, a student, a leader, or whatever, don't send that over text. Communicate it. If you communicate truth over text or email, you can't leverage. Listen, let's go back to this. 93% of what helps make the message receive. Remember, body language, tone, that's like 93%. So if you're texting, you're not giving all of it that they need. Truth must be communicated. Don't rush it. Don't avoid it. Embrace it. There are going to be times when you're going to have to be led by the Holy Spirit. You may want to walk in there right now. This is a come to Jesus meeting. We're going to have it right now. You may need to pray. You know what? I am waiting on the Lord. You may have to act and you may have to step into this moment because it's important that you master communication. Okay, here's the last one. And then I'm going to let them talk to you, have questions, do all of it. You're going to have to say it with faith. Leaders, set the tone on any team. What do you believe God is going to do this next year? What are you believing God's going to do with your numbers, your team, your leaders, your what? Sure, we absolutely need facts and figures, but you will need faith that that child, that young person, that leader is going to turn their heart, change. God's going to minister them. Leaders that are being taught by Be the One Ministries. This is important. The Bible says that God gives seed to the sower. So we believe that God is in charge of the seed and he watches over the seed to see it grow because he is the Lord of the harvest. Don't ever lose faith. Don't ever get so discouraged after one event that you're ready to quit the ministry, leave, and go back selling couches for your uncle. I mean, that was just random. You're going to have to know the truth, and you're going to have to walk through it sometimes when it doesn't look like you're winning, when it doesn't look like they're winning. You're going to have a youth leader that feels like they can go make more playing in a bar than playing on the stage for some kids. And you're going to have to remind them that God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And sure, you may get a couple bucks playing a gig, but what you were doing for the kingdom, God sees it. And the Bible says that God rewards it. Choose the right time to insert your faith. We fully understand you can't fix everybody on your team. And God will have to do some healing and transformation in their heart. But as leaders, we believe that the worship set, the sermon series, the follow-up plan, the connection with leaders is all divinely orchestrated because God is going to do something. Like he cares more about your students than you do, and he wants to unleash them. And we got to believe that I know there's only 4 kids coming. I know there's only 12. I know something happened and 5 kids left and 2 parents got mad. But you're going to have to keep the faith. You're going to say it with faith. Let's be leaders who communicate faith as much as we address problems. Okay, so you guys take a couple minutes. I think Devin's going to jump back on here and throw out some questions. But I want to encourage you, come on, to say it with care, to say it with praise, to say it with truth, and lastly, come on, to say it with faith. Thank you guys for watching this. Hopefully the next time we do this, I can be live with you in person. Y'all, I'm speaking at a youth conference, and that's why I couldn't be there. If you would like to connect with Be the One, even at a more relational level, make sure to get Devin and Alexis and Mitch's emails. We would love to encourage you, champion you, help you any way that we can. We love you. Thanks for jumping on the call. Bye.
Come on, man. Wasn't that good? Come on, I got my notes right here. If you guys want to follow Pastor Stephen on Instagram, you can do that at Stephen Sexton _ Be the One. And I know I've been to things like this before, and there's so much said that it can feel like, you're drinking from a fire hydrant. There's just so much. And so what we want to do in these next few minutes is really help everybody get practical and personal and walk away with a couple of things that they can start doing immediately. We don't want it to seem like, oh, I got to do everything. You got time. We can make changes over time. And so I guess the first question that I really have for everyone is, what's your go-to form of communication? Okay, so you got FaceTime, phone calls, emails, text, and this is where you can unmute your mic. This is where you can begin to talk. Here, I'm gonna put it on the view where I can see everybody. And I'm a youth pastor, so I will call you out. Come on, I've been in small groups with middle school boys before, and they don't want to talk about nothing. So here's the deal. Devin Mathis Why don't you go ahead and get it started?
I personally enjoy phone calls, just because I just feel like text, it takes like a minute to type out a text, and then you have to reread it to see if there's any spelling errors or punctuation errors. Actually, my wife actually does it for me. So that takes like another 30 seconds. But I just like phone call because I can say it. And if they have any questions, it's just a quick response back, and I can just kind of communicate it like that.
Got you. I'm gonna get like two more people. Justin, what's up, man? First of all, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, I met you once, I think, at Word of Life. Were you there at Word of Life or
Word of life. Word of life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Maryville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you a Stu.
I met you down there. Yeah, I'm a Stu.
Man, I'm sorry about that.
You had to
He's
claim
Yeah,
that. Oh,
It's only bad when dodgeball comes into play. Then Kevin looks
Yeah.
at it, it's like he's just gonna just pop us like a zit. But
I got you.
But
Okay.
anyway,
Okay. He's good. I've seen him.
we probably he just ripped. But anyway, we probably use GroupMe quite a bit for different things, and then Slack a lot for as far as leaders go, and me and Stu talk on the phone a lot, so we kind of do a variety of things. But
I got you. If
that's
you are
kinda
on
the
this
way
phone
we-
and you are not on GroupMe, let me just tell you, it will save your life. The only thing I
Yeah.
don't like about GroupMe is when you have to like remove somebody out of a group, it tells the whole group and everybody's like, whoa, what happened? And I was just like, you need to take that feature away. But other than that, GroupMe, 9.5 out of 10, solid. All right, next question that I have is this. He talked about the 4 lanes of communication. So the casual, intentional, emotional, and spiritual. Which one of those 4 would y'all say you need to get better at? So, Allie, what's up, Allie? I'm gonna call on you for this next one. What you thinking out of those 4?
I feel like maybe like intentional, because
Okay.
like I get lost in my own business, my own things, and it's hard to remember to be intentional throughout the week when I'm not like I'm working my normal job and not at the church to reach out to people.
Okay, awesome. Amanda, I see Amanda on here, a fellow Natchitoches, you know what I'm saying, product. Which of those lanes would you say? Casual, intentional, emotional, or spiritual?
I think intentional for me too. I really strive to be intentional with everything I do, but we're actually just starting up our youth group at our church right now. And so I just moved to a new city and a new state. So not really knowing any of the kids kind of makes it a little bit hard to, know how they like to be contacted, what their comfort level is. So just, I think, being more intentional with the kids and getting to know them and planning more activities, to do that would probably be what I could improve on.
Absolutely. I was in the same situation when we moved up here to help plant the house. And basically, I just asked a bunch of questions because the kids here are completely different than the kids in Natchitoches. And they like to go drink coffee and sit in hammocks and all kind of stuff. So I just had to learn all about that. He talked about the main portion of his content was talking about, the 4 ways that we say it: care, praise, truth, and faith. And so I want to get some people talking about, what would you say out of those 4, which one is the hardest for you to do? And I'll just tell myself first, mine is truth. It's hard for me to tell people the truth because I don't want to really hurt their feelings. I don't really want to make them mad at me. I just feel like, I want to keep everybody happy. But I'm learning that, if you tell people a lie to keep them happy, then you got to keep on telling lies. And it's better to come out and tell the truth and move forward with grace and love. And so now that I've told on myself, it's time for y'all to start telling on yourself. Mitch, what you thinking, dog?
Let me tell you, I have a really hard time a lot of times communicating faith, which I know as like a student leader, like that's kind of like the first thing. But I a lot of times get in this thought of, oh my gosh, like these students are not following up. Oh my gosh, these students are not doing this. Oh my gosh, these students are not doing that. I'm doing all this crazy stuff trying to, get them closer to the Lord. And if like I can only lead them to water, but they can't drink. And I have to remember, like, I've got to speak that these kids, like this is for a purpose. Like I'm moving them towards ministry. And even then, like I'm having them do more ministry, and they're doing as much as they can. And so I think sometimes one of the most important things, going back to our other question, was like the casual lane. Like the casual lane is what opens up to all of the other ways that you can say it. Like if students don't like you, it like, what's the point? Like they've got to like you in some way, or else you just become another teacher in their life, or you become a principal in their life. And like my job is not to communicate, oh, you're doing bad, or oh, you're doing good. It's like, oh, this is what God has for you, and it's all for a purpose.
Awesome. So here's the last thing I want to ask. Like, what's the one takeaway? And multiple people can talk about this, but what's the one thing you're going to start doing tomorrow? So not like in 3 months, not in 2 years, you know what I'm saying? But tomorrow, what can you start doing to take your communication to another level? Let me see who's on here. Christina, you want to share? Cool. Guess not. Let me see. Stu, we're gonna go back to Stu.
It's all right. I'll talk for my wife,
Got you.
I think for me, it's gonna be, I like how he talked about giving information to the listener with posture, work, tones, and words. The big thing for me is that I struggle a lot of the times with the words. So, like he said, I'm one of those to where I go through and I rehearse. I go through and I'll be on the stage like Pastor Kevin will walk in and I'll be preaching to nobody, because I've got to make sure that what is going to come out is going to come out right. And so just working on words, continuing to work on that, so that way I can become a better communicator. So that way what I'm sending out is received the right way, because they can receive it, but they could receive it the wrong way. And so I want to make sure that it's the right way when it comes back.
Oh yeah, communication is like key. And so we're gonna move on. But honestly, I would encourage you. We're gonna have all the recordings and everything from this call, and I would encourage you. I'm gonna send it to the rest of my team that couldn't be here, because if it does no good if like one person on the team knows how to really communicate, but everybody else doesn't. And so this can help everybody on your team take it further, faster. I do want to let you know about our local trips that we have for young people during the summers. We're actually having 2 trips this summer. One is going to be from June 12th to the 18th, and then the second is going to be June 26th to July 2nd. And for every year that we've had a youth group at our church, we've come on this trip. And every summer when they come back, I mean, they're full of fire. They're ready to go. They're ready to change the world. And it takes the culture and the invite culture and the investment culture of our youth group to a whole other level. And so the cost for that week is going to be $350, but that covers all their food, everything that they're going to need. And you can't really, like, it's priceless, the impact that you're going to see in their life. Like, they're going to share their testimony. They're going to put together ministry, like whatever gifts they have, they're going to use that to reach people. And it's the thing that honestly changed my life as a young person and got me on the track to be in ministry today. So they're going to put all the details and links and all that in the chat for that. And then I did excuse me, I did want to I know Mitch touched on it, but I wanted to just talk about it. The Be the One conference this summer is going to be awesome. It's $75 a student. It's 3 days full of games, worship, messages. I mean, it's going to be impactful, and we would love to see you and your youth group there.
For sure. Guys, what an impactful coaching. Like, I'm telling you, communication is the backbone of ministry. I personally am always looking for ways to just say it more clear. We've talked about all these different lanes and all of these different ways to say it. But I think that for me, clarity in being sure that I'm doing all 4 men, that's for me what I've got to work on. Well, as we're wrapping up, we do want to be good with your time. And so I did want to give you just a couple of next steps for us here at Be the One. We're really thankful that you have just jumped on this call. We know that you guys are investing in ministry, and so we want to continue the conversation. And so I want to invite you to join our GroupMe. I know that we talked about it earlier, but we've got a whole GroupMe dedicated to people who come to these Cultivate Coaching calls. And so they've got some steps to join on there. Download the GroupMe app, follow that link in the chat, and then help us spread the word. And here's the thing. Number 3 is the big one, because we want to create a network of youth pastors. Come on. One of my favorite things that I have seen from this GroupMe already, people are sharing games. People are sharing, what are they doing throughout the week? I mean, we're getting some community together in people. And so it is an awesome way to partner with Be the One. Also, if you had the ability to come in, you might have been a little late, no problem. We're going to have this up on our YouTube page. We're going to post that later on in the week. And so we want you to come be a part of that. Also for us, this event is totally free. But if you were interested in partnering with Be the One, we would like for you to send an email to alexis@betheoneministries.com, because we want to get you more information about Team One. Team One is our donors team who move us forward financially. And we are so incredibly thankful for all the work that they do to move us. Come on, we say it all the time, further, faster. I also wanted to let you know about Campaign 22. As Devin said earlier, we have Activate clubs in schools, which are faith-based clubs that promote leadership. They promote, Jesus in the school. They have content. They've got games. Like, they've got things that they are doing. We figured out through COVID, they're not allowing youth pastors to come back. They're not allowing, people from the community to come speak, but the people who are there are students. And so we want to equip those students to be leaders in their school. And so for me, I'm the Activate Club admin. And so we have some of the best students who lead these clubs, but we want to make them a success. And so Campaign 22 is based in us having 6 donors who dedicate $22 a month to fund a single Activate club. And we want you to be a part of what God is doing through Be the One in the school system. If you want more information about this, you can visit our website at betheoneministries.com/campaign 22. There you'll find a ton of different resources just about what we're doing there. But come on,
Right,
we are super excited.
Before we end the call, Mitch, we got to give away some merch.
Oh my gosh.
I was in the chat box. I was looking for people, blowing it up, saying stuff, commenting. And so, let me get a little drum roll real quick, little drum roll. So Justin Bishop, we're going to be sending you some free merch, man. So, let us know your shirt size. You can email that to Laura@betheoneministries.com, and we're going to send that out to you next week. Well, as we close, this session was just, a small taste of the leadership from Pastor Stephen. Be on the lookout for our next Cultivate Coaching. We're going to get that on the calendar soon, and follow us on Instagram at Be the One Ministries. That's all we have today. You guys have a great weekend. Finish off your spring break strong, and we'll see y'all next time. Come on.